nothing to be afraid of, Jimmy. Oh, shit. Okay. First things first that we got to start out with. I love the movie too, Home Alone, and I love that I got to rewatch it with my daughter. It's just like, it's a great movie. Hannah Kobayashi, before we get into the actual details of updates and stuff, Hannah Kobayashi, they've made contact with her, her family has, and she's safe. In my opinion, I still think she's a spoiled brat that went on some type of adventure, could care less about her family or the things, her actions affecting her family. But they made contact with her, and they just said that I guess she's safe. The family spoke with her, and the family, of course, I called this before. They're asking for privacy. I always knew, like, once she was, I never thought she was trafficked, and I had a feeling that, like, once she was found, they're gonna be like, all right, thanks, bye. As for privacy, I think she's a very selfish person, because her family and police and multiple people, like, this massive search for her. She's very selfish. She took away from other people's search, and her father jumped off a parking lot, roof, and offed himself. I still think that's weird. I don't understand why he did that. I don't know if there's some type of something happened there. I think that's super weird that the dad jumped off a parking lot garage. That was a waste. I don't know. But I have a feeling she cannot give one F. She don't care. Super spoiled little brat. And that's the end. That's it, Hannah. For Hannah, she's found safe. And well, this is the new guy that the Luigi people are in love with.
Waste of money.
Yeah, seriously. They're in love. I was kind of joking about this earlier. They're in love with this guy that killed his father and tried to kill his mother. They're holding him up as a hero now. And so some of the Luigi people are in love with him. In love. Oh, he's so handsome. And real quick, completely unrelated, but I was like, is this a real video? I saw this earlier today.
Fuck McDonald's. I'm finna crash into it on my mom.
Dramatic crash at a McDonald's in Springfield. Miraculously, the driver was able to get out of the car without help and is recovering from their injuries.
Crash out, literally crashing out.
Amigo Chino placed on house arrest for crashing into a.
They put me on house arrest, but if this video blow up, I'll cut it for real. Don't know who I am? I'm the dude who cut my ankle monitor on TikTok Live. This is my makeshift camp until I get to the next location. I'm heading towards New York. Hey, yo, I came to New York.
I don't know. I'm hoping this is a joke. Now, the other day, I didn't get to cover this, but there's something going on with Luigi and the numbers. You ever watch that movie, Number 23? I think it's called Number 23. Let me see, Number 23. It's all in the numbers. There's people that are like numerologists, and everything is in the numbers. The number 23. Well, they're saying now that this guy... Okay, here we go. Breloom's Pokedex number is 286. Proverbs 286. Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than a rich man who is crooked in his ways. Whoa, bro. He only has a 286 posts on his X. And then the Breloom Pokemon is 286. Finally, the denial code is 286. Oh, man. So they're saying there's something to the numbers, something to the thought. Then they're saying supposedly, I don't know if this is still accurate, he only follows 286 accounts. You're telling me his cousin in Maryland, state delegate, follows 286 people? Oh, the cousin. Oh, man, no. Denial code 286. So people are looking into the numbers and they're thinking it's something interesting. The fact also that he was caught at McDonald's 286 miles away is the icing on the cake. Maybe he purposely wanted to be caught at 286 miles away. Now, last night I posted this, and they're talking about this guy's eyebrows, and they're saying the eyebrows don't match. Even though today they're saying the fingerprints were a match, there's people that don't believe this is the same person. And it's a decoy and is being framed. Not the same guy. The eyebrows don't match. The length of the eyebrows, the growth ratio, if you consider that for the couple days from picture to picture, don't match, they say. The eyebrow experts. They're not satisfied.
A little bit over your nose, too. Where was you in the last 72 hours?
What?
Where were you in the last 72 hours?
What do you mean? In LA or what do you mean?
No, in the world. Where were you?
Just homework.
You got anybody to corroborate that? Anybody to back that up?
Nope.
You own a ski mask.
I have. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do.
Okay, now pull it down. Pull the bottom part down to your chin and smile. Pull that bottom part down to your chin and smile for me. We got him.
Impersonators everywhere. Now, there's this video that came out. Chris Cuomo talking to somebody. Luigi, his attorney, says no evidence he shot the CEO. Bro, we saw it on video. What are you talking about? They're saying there's no evidence? His attorney? He's a private attorney that was hired by the family, mommy and daddy, in my opinion.
On behalf of the accused is counsel Thomas Dickey, attorney for...
That boy doing a press conference. He's just doing for the extradition. Boy making a press conference. By the way, I thought they said he has an impressive history, though. Thomas Dickey. Thomas Dickey. I have to find that. For getting off murderers or something. Or murder charges. Check that out.
For the 26-year-old man charged in the murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Counsel, thank you for joining us.
And thank you, Chris.
So your client had an opportunity to say you got the wrong guy, never did. He apologizes in his manifesto for the pain he has caused. He gave voice to his motivation today in front of the cameras. And yet, am I correct that you believe you don't think he did it?
Well, Chris, one thing I always liked about watching you is you're a lawyer, okay? So I don't know if you've done much criminal work or not, but my client hasn't faced any actual criminal charges from New York yet. So he hasn't had an opportunity to make any plea. My anticipation is going to be when and if that happens, he's going to plead not guilty. I mean, we've seen no evidence. We've seen nothing. And I was reminding people today about, you talk about America a little bit and what some wonderful things about this country, and particularly in the criminal justice system, and that's the presumption of innocence. And I don't want people to jump to, these prejudgment things, because nobody would ever want that if they were accused or one of their loved ones were accused. And as the big hearing today, I haven't seen any evidence yet. I don't even know if this is him or whatever. So we're going to test those waters and give the government a chance to bring some evidence forward.
Do the job. Let me ask you something. In terms of developing why he would not be responsible, what understanding do you have about this quiet period that this guy had, where nobody could get in touch with him after his surgery, where people were worried about him, that led his family to report him missing? What do you know about that period?
I know nothing about that, Chris. So I wouldn't comment on that, and I would only be speculating, and I don't even know what's out there.
But don't you have to? I mean, that's pretty much all you have, isn't it?
Well, yeah, Chris. And like I said, I'm not, if I disappoint you, I'm sorry and too bad. But I've been involved in this case for, probably less than, 12 hours now. And I've, as a lawyer should do, is I got to look at evidence. And, I'm not going to go by conjecture and opinions and speculation, what people think. We as lawyers look at evidence. So, tomorrow will be another day, and we're gonna start looking into that.
Have you had a chance to speak to your client?
I have.
And how did you meet him in terms of his demeanor and disposition towards this?
As I told everybody today, Chris, my idea was to develop a relationship, a bond, so to speak, an attorney-client relationship. Where I want to have him have trust and faith in me, and vice versa. And so I thought that we accomplished that today, and so I'm pleased with that in the short time we've had together.
Is there anything he wanted you to express to the rest of us?
Not really. And if he did, Chris, you're familiar with the attorney-client privilege, and I can't talk, and I won't talk about anything.
That's why I asked you. That's why I asked you, did he ask you to express anything to the rest of us? Not, did he tell you a secret that you feel like sharing?
Well, no. If you asked me what he asked me, that is a conversation we've had, and I think that's attorney-client privilege, and I'm not going to touch that. In all due respect.
That's not what I'm asking. Sure. How did you assess him in terms of, does he seem okay to you? Did he seem healthy? Did he seem able to focus and understand you? Did he seem balanced?
Well, I think he made some knowing decisions today when we decided that we're challenging this extradition. I don't make those evaluations necessarily at this level, and so he seemed to understand my questions. He seemed to be able to interact with me, and so I was pleased with that.
How would you assess his mood? Did he seem upset? Did he seem worried?
Well, here's what I tell everybody, Chris, today is, use your common sense. You're a young man or old man, whoever you are, and you're accused of, he hasn't been accused yet that I've seen, but the talk and the anticipation, probably out there is that he may be charged with a very serious offense. He's certainly behind bars, which I believe is wrong. I felt that the judge should have set bail today.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Okay. If you guys could help me out with the like button, please, I'd appreciate that. And share the stream out if you can. Luigi's lawyer on why they're fighting extradition. And yes, I did mention the spoiled brat, Hannah, that finally contacted her family and said, hey, I'm okay. I'm just on a little trip. See you when I see you. I think they should charge her with the green card scam. She should be charged for that. And I think that she should have to pay back the funds she should have to pay back what it cost for the search or the resources used. And I also think that the family should give back the GoFundMe money. I don't know. People need to be made right. This was I don't know, in my opinion, I feel like this was a scam of sorts. This is, I don't know. Hannah got found out and the whole scam thing got found out, and so she hopped the border and ran. You know, I call a little brat because her father jumped off of a building, and like I said, I think there's something weird there. Who does that in the middle of a search? Does he feel guilty about something? That's kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, this is what I think about that.
On the matter is telling us here at CNN that along with that 3-page handwritten claim of responsibility, as the authorities are referring to it, some might refer to it as a manifesto, investigators are also looking at a spiral notebook of Mangione's that included to-do lists of tasks in order to facilitate a killing, as well as notes justifying those plans. In one passage about the Unabomber, Mangione concludes that using a bomb against his intended victim could, quote, kill innocents.
And that's the new thing they're saying now, too, that, like, they're saying that Luigi considered using a bomb. Hey.
But shooting would be more targeted, using what could be better, and I'm quoting now, than to kill the CEO at his own bean counting conference. This is coming as we are learning more about the suspect's life beforehand, including a report from the New York Times that Mangione's mother filed a missing persons report about him in San Francisco on November 18th. And also that he stopped communicating with his family and his friends about 6 months ago. Yet apparently no one who knew him and knew that he was missing recognized him in those surveillance photos that have been plastered everywhere for the last several days. Tonight, that's prompting a whole new set of questions about what was happening in Mangione's life behind those smiling photos that we've now seen on social media, and also questions about an injury that he suffered in 2023 and what happened to him ever since. My lead source tonight is the attorney who is representing Luigi Mangione, Thomas Dickey, and it's great to have you here, sir. I just want to say thank you. I know this has been moving very quickly, and you said earlier you were retained today to represent him. And so can you just tell us, how's your client doing in jail tonight?
Well, Caitlin, thank you for having me. As I've been saying all day, if you put yourself, I tell everybody to use their common sense. Here we have a young man who is incarcerated without bail, as you alluded to. And apparently he's going to be charged with murder in the state of New York. If you use your common sense, I'm sure he's, it's concerning. That's all I can say.
Well, you've been an attorney for decades. What did you make of the way he went into court earlier, that outburst that he had?
I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm still analyzing that. I was actually on the other side of the wall when he came in, so I didn't hear all that statement. I've been busy all day, so I haven't had a chance to analyze that. So, I'm not going to comment on something, unfortunately, until I can have a chance to hear that in detail and break that down.
Well, being on the other side of it, you were inside that courtroom, of course, and we learned about what happened in there.
That boy making a press tour on every news station all over the place, doing press conferences. Damn.
Fighting extradition for him to New York. Why are you fighting that? It seems like it's inevitable that he will be sent to New York.
Well, that may be, but again, the Constitution. I know, keep bringing up that word today, lest we forget about that. But the Constitution gives you certain rights, and we need to make informed decision. And the law permits, and the Constitution permits, that somebody in Luigi's position has the opportunity to look at evidence, make sure the government follows through a process, and that's what we're doing. So, again, I've been in this case probably about 12, 14 hours, maybe whatever, give or take, and I haven't seen a speck of evidence at all. I argued today at the extradition hearing. I still haven't received details about the charges that he's facing in New York. I heard your introduction and looking into that. But so we as lawyers need to make informed decisions, and we need to get our hands and our eyes on some evidence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the charges right here. It's murder, a loaded firearm, 2 counts of that, a forged instrument, and criminal possession of a weapon as well. I mean, those are the charges from New York. I mean, so as you're fighting extradition, you're not actually arguing that the authorities in New York have the wrong guy, are you?
Well, I haven't seen any evidence that they have the right guy. I can tell you that much. So I don't know anything about that.
Have you watched the video?
There's identification issues that are present, and so I don't. Like I said, this is why I need to look at some things, and they need to convince me. I try to remind people, and it's a shame that we forget about this presumption of innocence that the Constitution gives all Americans, and people don't worry about the Constitution until they're facing charges or accusations against them. Then trust me, Caitlin, the Constitution matters.
And of course it does. And
yes,
I know you highlighted earlier and emphasized innocent until proven guilty. I understand that. But I read the police report from when he was arrested. He initially gave them a false name. And then when they asked to confirm his identity, he said that he shouldn't have lied to them about it. I mean, that would seem to be that they do have the right person, given that he had a gun on him. He had a fake New Jersey ID that he used to check into a hostel. I mean, is none of that enough for you personally?
No, I don't believe it. I need to see more proof. Yeah, he's ride or die, man. Get that money that mommy and daddy paid you for, that mommy and daddy got through the healthcare industry and insurance companies and all this shit. Get that money, man. And now he has to be saved by the very same money that he killed this guy from. Now, let me ask you guys something because I was talking to a friend about this whole situation, right? I was talking to a friend, and the topic again came up of incel, right? Now, yesterday people thought, no, this is crazy. There's no way he's an incel. And I agree with, he fits part of the definition, but not all of the definition. Just part of it. Because incel is involuntarily celibate. And he was involuntarily celibate because he got this back injury. And I guess his friends say that he couldn't have intimate relationships and stuff like that. So he was involuntarily celibate. The part of that doesn't fit, though, is that I don't see that he was hostile towards a woman that I know of. So I don't know if homeboy's really an incel. It's not the full definition of incel. This is why I say there is an incel undercurrent to what Luigi did. The other piece about Ted Kaczynski being a political revolutionary and his family owning a large nursing home company are the missing pieces as to why what he did isn't just random. Makes more sense why he took his mask down and smiled and flirted with the girl that worked at the hostel. Girl was on a mission. And some chick's like, hey, baby, let me see your face. And while on a mission, exposed himself and pulled his mask down. I don't know. It's not about pulling girls, though. Because there's some incels that look very decent and act super awkward and can't have a normal conversation with chick. I don't think that's this guy. I really don't think that's this guy, but he doesn't fit the full definition.
To know that they do have the right guy?
Oh, the woman loved this guy. Yeah, they're so enthralled and oh my God, I love him. People are buying that jacket he was wearing. Apparently they're saying it's gone off the shelves. They're buying the jackets. They're buying the merch. They're trying to raise funds for him. They're threatening the police department.
Well, first of all, that's a piece of paper. I know you probably can't tell, but I'm 5'6". I could write on that I'm 6'5" and all this other kind of stuff. So that's written on paper. What's nice
Sipping got him busted
about the law is we'll have a hearing. I can cross-examine witnesses and look at reports and find out what they have and what they don't have. So again, that's just written on a criminal complaint without getting.
I totally think BK is an incel. Totally. Remember that story about that chick? That with Brian Koberger, that I think Brian Koberger fits that criteria. And I don't think that guy, I think that guy had like hate, spite for women and stuff. Remember that chick that said she was on a date with this dude? Brian Koberger. Where's that chick at? Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. Creepy date. Good shit. Hold on. Hold on.
Come in. I was kind of afraid to say no, so I just let him come in with me. He kept trying to tickle me, and I would ask him to stop, or I'd say, "What are you doing?" And he would be like, "I'm not."
That dude said she has good birthing hips. Who says that shit?
I'm not tickling you, and he would get very serious.
What is up? It's Ick and Mel, and we got to get into this. Bryan Kohberger's now. Sherelle, we're going to use to protect my family from the crazies on for anybody phone notifications.
Hey, it's me, the girl that went on a Tinder date with Bryan. A lot of people have been trying to dox me, specifically on Reddit.
Get that data seal, because these people nuts. Get data seal.
I never thought the comments that I made on Hobart News would make it to TikTok or Reddit or literally anything. But here we are. So I thought I would make this because a lot of people are just saying things that are not true at all. My interactions with Bryan were very brief. I don't know much about him. My total interactions with him were like 24 hours. We matched on Tinder.
You don't think Bryan Kohberger's an incel?
For a couple hours, and then he was like, "Hey, you want to go to the movies with me tonight?" And I was like, "Sure." So
a gentleman.
So we went to the movies. Honestly, I don't even remember what movie we saw. We ended up going back to my dorm, and he kind of invited himself inside. I thought he was just going to drop me off, but that was not the case.
I'll come inside. Thank you.
He kind of invited himself inside, and I was just like, okay, I went along with it.
Hell nah.
So he wanted to watch another movie on Netflix, and I said, sure. He kept trying to touch me, not like inappropriately, just like trying to tickle me and like rub my shoulders and stuff. And I was like,
the tickle thing is kind of weird. I couldn't imagine trying to pull it off like on a Tinder date. Like, that's what I was talking about, like the lack of self-awareness and stuff.
Why are you touching me, or what are you doing? And he would just like get super serious, and he's like, I'm not.
I just want to tickle you. I think Kohberger fits that profile. I don't think this guy, part of the just involuntary celibate, but I don't think he was desperate for women. Unless we find out other stuff.
Getting into the details of that, I don't see any evidence of a forgery. They're going to have to at least prove a prima facie case, which is less than the beyond a reasonable doubt. But I need to see these things. Right now, I have one piece of paper. And again, yes,
Mr. Dickey, have you asked to see this?
I have a copy of, if that's the Pennsylvania complaint, I have a copy of that. I was handed that today near the end. Well, that's what we're good. We have a hearing coming up on, I believe, the 23rd. I apologize if I'm in error about that, because there's a bunch of dates that's been flying around today. But yes, and like I said, tomorrow I'm going to reach out to the district attorney. It's my intentions, and to see how much we can see of this stuff. So today was not about that. So we have not had the opportunity to do that today.
And I know you were also unhappy that he was denied bail. Of course, prosecutors were arguing that he is a risk. You know, they either have to talk about, being a flight risk or a risk to the community. Obviously, he was captured about 250 miles from Manhattan. But you said you were retained today. One big question that everyone has is, are you being paid by his family to represent him?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that.
Come on. Mommy and daddy is paying for that shit.
Well, can you say that it's not his family who is asking you to retain him, or retaining you to represent him?
I'm not going to comment on
maybe the loyal supporters.
I'm not going to.
But I believe it's mommy and daddy.
Comment on that. I've been retained. I'm not court appointed. I've been retained, and that's all I can tell you.
We had seen reports earlier that there was, people were inundating you with offers to help pay for his legal.
The fans are coming through. They want to pay
bills. Is that accurate?
I have received some emails. I have not seen them personally, but my understanding from my staff is people are doing that.
That people are reaching out to you and offering to help pay for his legal bills.
That's correct.
Damn, ride or die.
Would you accept those offers? I mean, I imagine you maybe have, I don't know, have you ever gotten that before?
Nah, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't.
He's thinking about it, though. You see him looking all over the place. He's thinking about that shit. Man.
Why do you think you would not accept that?
I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't feel comfortable about that. So I don't know. I haven't given that much thought, but I'm not looking, obviously my client appreciates the support that he has, but I don't know. I just, I'd have to look in, but it just doesn't sit right with me, really.
Why do you think they're offering?
I don't know. People, you talk about, the Supreme Court says, all these rich billionaires can give all kind of money to candidates, and that's free speech. So maybe these people are exercising their right to free speech and saying that's the way they're supporting my client. You
noted there that you said he supports he appreciates the support that he's getting. Did he acknowledge that when you had a conversation with him earlier about how we have seen this intense public interest in him himself? Yeah, unfortunately, Caitlin, I can't get into anything that my client and I talk about. So by law, I'm not permitted to reveal anything that's attorney-client privilege in any conversation that occurs between he and I is simply that. I understand that, but could you describe just what his
did he pee himself?
Demeanor is? You're talking about putting yourself in his shoes, but did he seem nervous? Did he seem calm? Or how did he come off to you when you met him? Well, yeah. And if we have a minute, I do want to go back to that bail situation if we have a quick second. But anyway, I've been telling people all day to use their common sense. Here's a young man who's, apparently going to be or has been charged with a very serious, one of the most serious offenses a person could be charged with. He's in prison without bail, as you previously mentioned. And so, I think common sense would say, he's concerned. Do you plan on representing him only in Pennsylvania or also in New York? Well, that will depend. I got to see how this process pans out. And if, in fact, I were asked to do that, I certainly would consider that and probably do that. Thomas Dickey, I know.
Thomas Dickey. Now, let me get to this real quick. This part. Doctors reveal how a lack of sex can turn men into killers. You guys agree with that or no? Doctors have raised the prospect of sexual frustration may have played a role in the healthcare CEO's assassination. As speculation swirls about the alleged killer's motive, Luigi is said to have been unable to have sex because of a debilitating lower back injury that caused him constant pain, according to a friend. His friends say the lower back pain also caused Luigi to retreat away from his family and friends and quit sports, surfing, and hiking. He went rogue and went dark. Stopped talking to everybody. Psychiatrists say that sexual frustration can leave someone with feelings of anger and frustration over being unable to find a partner, which they blame society for. Violent attacks may be carried out as an emotional release. Dr. Raj Prasad, a psychiatrist in Britain, told the Daily Mail it definitely is the case that there's a link between sexual frustration and attacks. We've seen some famous examples in history. Sex is really such a powerful drive that is difficult to break out of the vision, unlike others, such as desire for money. Trump's first would-be assassin appeared to be sexually frustrated watching adult videos before trying to then kill the presidential candidate. I did hear about this. I heard about this on Twitter, and I thought it was a joke. But apparently they're saying this dude, Trump's assassin, Matthew Cooks, he all he had to do was rub one out, and he couldn't. And so he went on this crusade to kill Trump. And experts have also previously drawn a link between sexual frustration and the mass shooters and murderers, adding Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooter, had child images on his phone. I didn't know that either. Elliot Rodger, we talked about this guy, I think, yesterday. Elliot Rodger killed 6 people and injured 14 in California in 2014 is thought to have gone on a shooting spree out of hatred for women who rejected him. A 2023 study on 178 mass shootings in the U.S. from 1966 to 2021 found that about a third of the shooters had sexual frustration. Bro. They were also 6 times more likely to have a history of sexual offending and were also more likely to have a strong desire for fame. These individuals exhibited various indicators of sexual frustration, such as explicit complaints, stalking, harassment, engagement in illegal behaviors, and interest in minors and violent fetishes. Sexually frustrated mass shooters were likely to be more young, male, unmarried, childless, unemployed, misogynistic compared to other shooters. He fit all those except, I don't know if he's misogynistic or not. They exhibited behaviors associated with relief seeking, power seeking, revenge seeking, and displaced frustration. Dr. Adam Langford, a criminology expert at the University of Alabama who led the research, said, "We were surprised to discover that sexually frustrated perpetrators committed so many of the deadliest mass shootings in the U.S. history." Isn't that crazy? He added, when profound sexual frustration is combined with access to firearms, psychological issues, lack of empathy for others, and toxic masculinity, that's the problem right there, y'all. Everybody living in toxic masculinity. You caused this shit. The risk of mass violence may be particularly higher. What is toxic masculinity? These motherfuckers they can't rub one out. They can't get some pee or nothing. So what's that? Shootings driven by sexually frustration are normally associated with right-wing, incel, involuntary celibates. Come on, man. Members of the heavily online group often express misogynistic views and hostility towards women, as well as espousing traditional family values and opposition to the LGBT rights. Luigi, however, appears to have been captured by the far left. Far left anti-capitalist ideals. In the text of a Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, who started sending bombs to people after watching the wilderness by his home be destroyed. So RJ Martin, we know this, said that he knew that this guy was having problems dating and being physically intimate. I remember him telling me that. It just broke my heart. And we know the pinched nerve stuff. And we talked about Reddit already. Dr. Prasad added that his use of what is believed to be a scan of his back on his Twitter profile also revealed a lot about his identity. That is really interesting, he said. That really does suggest that the back pain was central to his identity and dominated his way of looking at the world. That part is interesting. His whole identity is this back thing that happened. It's on his Twitter profile everywhere. The top psychiatrist also suggested that Luigi's back issues may not have been from his only barrier to sex. Oh, saying he may have struggled to connect with women. So this psychiatrist thinks it's not just his back. But he had a girlfriend. Didn't he have a girlfriend or something? I don't want to appear to be supportive or anything, but he is a good-looking guy. Ooh, an Ivy League graduate. So why doesn't he have a girlfriend? Did he have a girlfriend or did he not have a girlfriend? No, that Hawaiian girl was like his best friend. I want to. Did this guy have girlfriends or not? I don't know. I suspect he had trouble in some kind of way connecting to a woman. Dr. Prasad said it was also possible that Luigi was a homosexual.
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit. I like that.
Oh, shit.
And I'm an innocent bystander. They saying I drove a getaway car, but I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
So you can't see at all?
Huh? Mama, I love you. P.O.P. all the time. Right, these are good pimps, boy.
And I mentioned this yesterday. I've never seen anything to indicate that. I don't know. But there's Facebook groups of women, somebody was telling me there's a woman Facebook group, and they were saying that there's a couple of women saying that, honey, he's not straight. Honey, he's into men. Well, yeah. All these, that'd be funny if all these women are like sweating this guy. He's not even into them. I'm sorry, what kind of psychiatrist is this? Dr. Prasad said it also was possible that Luigi was a homosexual, which would come with its own mental and psychological challenges, particularly around both accepting his own sexuality and believing others would accept it. Oh, God. Doctors have suggested that Luigi was suffering from this condition, spondylolisthesis. I don't know how to call it. A spinal condition where the bottom of the vertebrae of the spine has slipped out of position. They warn in severe cases, this can cause the penis to become numb. Wow, that sucks, man. If the nerve delivering feeling to the area called the cauda equina is suppressed. They warn that suppression of this and other nerves can lead to issues with erections and ejaculation. Interesting. It comes as young people in America generally having much less sex than older generations. Really? Nearly 1 in 3 young men and 10 to 15% of women not having had sex by the age of 30 years old, according to the University of Indiana. Among the most famous mass shooters also struggling with sexual frustration is George Sodini, who shot 4 women at LA Fitness Center in 2009 and then himself. It was later revealed he had written about women rejecting him and his frustration that it had left him feeling. He also repeatedly said how he had not had sex in 20 years. Wow. Thanks, Bob. Bob says, Fox just said gun found at Luigi matches shell casing at the scene. But I understand what you're saying, but the eyebrow experts on Twitter and TikTok, they say it's not him because the eyebrows don't match up, so it can't be him. It can't be him. It cannot be him. It cannot be him.
Completely out of touch and insult the intelligence of the American people.
The change agents, but proof of what needs to change. True. Too often, true. Of course, many industry thinking what the left and right have been stoking for years, both of them, especially online. Get angry, get even, own them.
Yeah.
Hard to find a podcast that isn't desperately imploring people to reject everything in society, except what they're saying, of course. Even the manifesto of this assassin manifests the weakness of the assassin's own choices. He identifies problems with transparency and pricing irregularities and profits over people in healthcare and health insurance. Yes, true. Too often, true. Of course, many industries do this. But healthcare matters more than just about any other industry because it can literally be life or death. The problem is real. Obama tried to address it with the ACA. It's interesting. Trump wants to disrupt everything, right? You can get off that now. Yet, even he never goes after the big insurers. We know why. They get what they want. But the idea that you change something that is bad by doing something worse, now, you don't have to be a genius with an Ivy League pedigree to know that that is stupid. The surrender of moral high ground and the obvious lack of connection to reality is so apparent. I want to show you a clip from Piers Morgan, his podcast, and one of this assassin's supporters. Watch this lady.
Why would you be in such a celebratory mood?
This lady's nuts.
About the execution of another human being.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Seriously?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not...
She just said joy. Smiling.
No, certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful?
Smiling when she explains how murder kinda, sorta makes sense when so many have been killed by this guy, Thompson. Like she was taking a position in debate class, but you see, when you actually pull the trigger and you end a life, There's nothing rhetorical about it. Brian Thompson was a CEO, not a death camp operator. Our death rate is too high. And you know what it has to do with? Our diet, as much as anything we're denied by insurers. And
true.
yes, I think both have to change. But what just happened only makes change harder, because now those wanting change are worse than what they oppose. He just did one of the few things that is worse than denying care that may lead to early death. He guaranteed death, and to make nothing better. The irony is that if genius assassins like this guy and his fans, with their perverse smile, had tested their own ideas, which of course fundamentalists never do, they would have learned that systemic change is rarely achieved by violence, certainly not one violent act. Ask the January 6th crew. Or read the study by Chenoweth and Steffen and why civil resistance works, suggesting nonviolent campaigns are twice as likely to achieve their...
Much love, Mel.
goals. Well, what about how America was born? Revolution. Good point. If you want to reject a violent oppressor and create your own society, that's one thing. But then this guy should have gone to Ukraine and fought for them. World War II, the French Revolution, the Algerian Revolution, when an oppressor uses...
Wait, why don't you go to Ukraine, motherfucker? Christina, thank you for the 5. Thank you for the
Those who
super
make
chat.
peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.
Christina, this is bigger than we know. I think this guy is being framed. Oh! How did he know where to go and what time to be there? Much love, Mel. And some of the responses, God loves you, says he is being framed. I'm his cousin. And somebody else replied, Pyramidian, welcome to the AI era. Of course he's being framed. Damn, bro. And Underhill, thank you for the 5, says those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. Interesting. That is interesting.
Forced to enforce their will. Sometimes fighting back is freedom, but that's not what this is about. Unless he wants to overthrow capitalism, him and his friends. In that case, get ready to see the angry side of Uncle Sam. No, this is about making a system better. Stopping abuse, changing rules of how people get to do what they do, especially when the health of others, their lives, matter. How do we best do that? History shows us, right here in America, the biggest change to our system has been correcting systemic racism. Now, we're not there, but what we have achieved was not achieved by violence. The violence was on the side of not wanting to change what was eventually achieved. The assassins, the violent, they were resisting change, right? Not creating it. Dr. King, a generation of those committed to civil disobedience, got rid of Jim Crow, raised up the law, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, 64, 65. That changed. That changed what was bad and made us better. They weren't trying to kill those who were taking advantage. Same with South Africa. Mandela didn't sink to the means of the oppressor. That's why he won. The people who have changed the world are the opposite of these fundamentalist extremists. I don't know where they're learning this. Well, I kind of do. But I really don't know where they're going to unlearn it. But it's got to start with us. You know, if I show you terrorists with beards and burqas, you get it. You get the threat of fundamentalism right away, right? But I'm telling you, these posers under our roof are every bit as dangerous. We have real problems. But the only way any meaningful change ever happens is to create better by being better, not worse. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to
Chris Cuomo. Suspects' fingerprints match those found at the crime scene. Now, the problem is that people don't think the eyebrows match up, so that's a problem. That's a problem.
Just learning fingerprint comparisons
made
between prints.
It's planted.
Collected at the scene of the Brian Thompson murder.
The cops are involved.
Compared with prints taken in the arrest process of Luigi Mangione bail. Now say a notebook that they found on him has a so-called to-do list in it from before the killing, as well as a reported reference to deciding
Mold using a bomb. He had thought about using a bomb.
Not to use a bomb to target the victim, so he would not, quote unquote,
Sure,
kill
I thought it was
innocents.
a smudge print too. That's true.
Also new this morning, disturbing video of what appears to be
The test came back quick, huh?
wanted posters popping up around New York City for other health executives. All of
Oh! Yo, you believe that? They're putting up wanted posters for other CEOs. Those guys are running. They got full security now. They're afraid. This is the first time they ever had any kind of fear in their life. Oh my gosh.
this as the suspect's lawyer is now speaking out about offers they say they've received to pay from outside to pay for his legal fees.
Obviously, my client appreciates the support that he has, but I don't know. I just, I'd have to look in.
We saw that interview already.
Walk us through what you've learned.
So, fingerprints collected at the scene of the
And they said it was smudged. Now they got fingerprints.
Thompson murder from a plastic water bottle, from a discarded cell phone, the so-called burner phone, have now been compared against the arrest fingerprints taken by police in Altoona of the suspect. And yesterday they were able to make a match to the prints that they collected at the scene. Not a surprise in some regard, in that they had an individual allegedly with a gun and a silencer and a mask and those things, but it is the first scientific forensic match that joins the growing pile of circumstantial evidence that they can say, well, how else would it be someone if that fingerprint is here and he's there with that gun and so on. Now, there's more, which is DNA evidence still pending, ballistic tests still pending. Part of that is because the gun was recovered in Pennsylvania. To match that to be the same gun, they would have to obtain it, fire it, test it, compare the shell casings and the bullets. But this is a big deal.
It is a big deal because, to this
Val, thank you for the 5 memberships. Appreciate it.
point, that could be one of the things that you could hear from the suspect's attorney saying, you don't know if this is the guy. This wasn't me. We talked about this, right? Like, you could say this isn't me. There's a guy with a mask and this, whatever. But this is scientific connection, forensic connection between the two. Talk to me more about ballistics. Is it just a logistical kind of obstacle that needs to be overcome in order to get confirmation or not that the ballistics match, do you think? Or
the gun is actually the charge that they are holding him on in Pennsylvania. So that evidence needs to stay with him because, they're the ones who have him in custody, and he has not waived extradition, which basically says, I'm not going to New York, where they would then turn over all that evidence to New York City and then have them do those tests. But they understand, they are in it for the long game. They don't need to know that tomorrow.
Damn. So they they have a Give, Send, Go. It's a fundraising website. Thank you, Cozy Llama. Thank you for tagging me. They have a Give, Send, Go, and guess how much money he's raised so far? They've raised $34,000 with a goal of $200,000. There's a lot of support for this guy. When people love him, especially the ladies. Especially the ladies love him. They'll take criminal, rapists, pedophiles. Ladies will get behind anything. They're in love with this guy because of his hot, unique looks and his eyebrows. Girl, I'm sending my rent money over there, girl. Oh, yes. He can shoot me anytime and shoot my kids too, girl. Yes, girl. Oh, he's so hot. There's no good men out there no more, but I love this guy. Oh, yes, girl. We're going to send all this money over. Oh, yeah.
Or the next day, and it gives them more time to do the background investigation they're still doing, which includes mundane things, but very necessary things like completing the video canvas, tightening up that map where they can show a picture of him almost through every step of his New York journey.
I want to get to more of that, but Steve, let me bring you in on this. Just the importance of what John Miller has learned about this fingerprint match.
Yeah, as we've learned, something can look like a slam dunk case, but a lawyer can find just niches or cracks in any kind of strong case. And what they're doing now is filling up the cracks. They're eliminated any doubt before they go to trial that this is the person who committed this crime. He's already fighting. He's already shown what he's going to do. He's going to fight every single motion, even a perfunctory extradition motion. So he isn't going to go quietly on this. So the police are obviously dotting their I's and crossing their T's.
For sure. And John, something that we've talked about, and I guess it still remains, there are so many questions that remain. And I'm wondering if this notebook that we're learning more about kind of adds to this picture is, how did this guy know that the CEO was going to be where he was going to be when he was?
So,
is that where the line of thinking is in investigating how we learn more about that?
There are clues. I mean, you know it because you've been by there, but that New York...
Oh, Wade Wilson has 90,000 in his GoFundMe? Wow, really? Holy crap. And he is messing with men, messing with women. He's making that money.
Hilton Hotel takes up, half of a full city block. Yeah. It has doors all the way down 53rd Street and all the way down 54th Street, and a front door and a rear driveway. That's like 20 entrances you would have to cover to know where is this guy going to enter the hotel. But you would also have to know, what if he is going to enter from this side because I have learned he's staying at the hotel across the street. How would you know that? He gives us an oblique reference in the 3-page note that we've loosely called the manifesto, where he says, this wasn't that difficult. It was a combination of social engineering and computer-assisted design, an engineer term, CAD he referred to it as. But I think what he's telling us there on the social engineering side is, this is what people do when they create an email, a spoof email or a phone call saying, I have a delivery, where do I bring that, posing as somebody else. He's suggesting that he learned intelligence information on his target by doing that kind of thing. But then when you get out of the note and into the spiral notebook, and he acknowledges this in the note as well. He said, my electronics you're going to find are pretty locked down, but in the spiral notebook.
Luigi supporters have launched a legal fund raising $35,000. The obsessed organizers say they now have the mailing address in jail, his mailing address in jail. We've gotten a mailing address for Luigi in jail. We're writing directly to see him, what he would like us to do with these funds. Thank you for your continued support of the legal fund. We'll keep you updated. Below shows Luigi smashing a beer against his head in footage obtained by TMZ at the time of his university in Pennsylvania. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at this. We're here for you. That's Luigi? That boy party. Man, the Santa man in the shadow. Yeah, okay, Luigi, I see you, man.
You'll see to-do lists and other notes. Some of those notes are theoretical notes about targeting and, what is the just way to commit such a crime. He talks about Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, and how if he modeled after him a bomb in a shareholders conference could kill, innocent people, same on the street. But he talks about, shooting being the more precise way to take on his target. In one line, he says, and what better way to take out the CEO than to shoot him at his own, quote, bean counters conference.
Yep. An investor conference is exactly what you could say that is.
Right.
And Steve, what do you think? There's so much that is coming out. I mean, this reporting from John is most significant about the forensic that they're now positively IDing. What questions do you have that remain now, Steve, and where you would say, leaning on your experience with the FBI, where you think this investigation focuses a lot of its energy now?
Well, you've got a lot of the basic building blocks of this case already being nailed down. What I'd want to do is shore up the areas where you don't have direct knowledge yet, or at least they haven't said they have direct knowledge of the shooter's actions. For instance, before a shareholders conference like this, they're going to be setting up for about a week. They're going to do rehearsals and speeches and stuff. I would want to know where he was. We have cameras and everything on the day of shooting, but I'd like to see cameras around the entrances and find out whether Thompson did the same thing for several mornings, or whether maybe somebody in the hotel actually provided him information.
Man, that'll be dirty. Oh, by the way, yeah, Joe Rogan blasts the insurance industry.
I think, there's cameras everywhere now, and that's part of the problem with someone. And I don't think this guy was a professional. I think this guy, if I had to guess, some guy got over. Apparently that company is really bad on denying claims.
34% denial rate. Something
normal's
like
16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those guys.
I don't think anybody's going to be crying too hard over that guy.
Yeah, maybe his family, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It's a dirty, dirty business. The business of insurance is fucking gross. It's gross. And especially healthcare insurance. Just fucking gross.
Dirty. Luigi and his piss jug. My name is Luigi. The jacket that was worn by the alleged UnitedHealthcare shooter Luigi is flying off the shelves. Wow. I want that jacket. Wow. Military jacket. Flying off the shelves. Wow. Selling off the shelves on, what is that, Amazon? Wow, $80. And that company's making some good money. Ghouls launch legal defense for UnitedHealthcare CEO suspect. This is what we were just talking about, the give, send, go. What a picture. Oh my God. At the time it was 28,000, but now we just saw it was like 34,000.
So, Joe Scott, here's my question to you. What do you think will be the single most important evidence in this case? And I'm guessing it's going to be forensics.
Yeah, it will be, but I think maybe in a different area. It's going to be electronic forensics. Let's think about what we have. He's going to be tracked moving along. Now that we know who this guy is, his movements on the bus line, did he have multiple phones? Did he have an actual phone that had his name attached to it, as well as a burner phone that maybe was tracked concurrently with the burner phone? Also, we haven't talked a lot about Brian Thompson here. What did this guy do to stalk him? We go back to this idea that he knew he was in Manhattan, that he knew he was at this meeting. Is his history, digital history, going to have a big reveal about this relative to him, following him day to day? Did he ever actually make any trips to Minneapolis to kind of inspect that area? That's going to be a big part of this, is putting all of this together. I think that, yeah, the ballistics are unique, I think, if you can even attach it. But I think one of the biggest pieces of evidence here is all of this electronic data that's going to come into play. And also, don't forget this, Nancy, he has a real understanding and a real love for AI. We've seen this throughout throughout his social media posts, the life that he lived, his bachelor's and master's degree in computer science. The 3D ghost gun, he's familiar with that. That's a big part of new technology, and just being able to generate false IDs. All of that along the way is going to be a big, big dagger in the heart for him.
Cheryl McCollum, you know what? Let me just give you an example. The ghost gun, for Pete's sake, is the single most important piece of evidence. I tie it with a fingerprint.
The single most important piece of evidence to me is we've got him on freaking video committing murder. Everything else is going to be tied to it. The gun, the clothing, fingerprint, everything else is coming.
I'm an underwriter for life insurance, and man, that's harsh. We try to prove everyone we can. Well, life insurance, it's just a benefit for you guys. There's no real, everybody's trying to sign everybody up for life insurance.
DNA,
right? Single most important piece.
Video.
And quickly to Hermania Rodriguez, dailymail.com. What happens now? We're just waiting on the extradition hearing?
Correct. So he's supposed to appear in court again in Pennsylvania today, and now the process of extradition moves along. Charges have already been filed in New York, so we don't have to wait for him to be physically in New York for that. But now that process starts, and we are yet to hear what his defense is going to be. Is he going to oppose extradition, as you mentioned? And that's what's going to start now, the legal.
Okay. Ole, ole. Ole, ole. The whole Brian Thompson story keeps getting more and more unbelievable, and I don't trust anything reported by the media. From the start, I wondered, what if Thompson faked his death? Thompson was under investigation by the DOJ for insider trading. He reportedly exercised stock options and sold a netting himself of $15 million just 2 weeks before the news went public of a company antitrust investigation, which sent the stock plummeting. It's interesting that Brian's wife, Paulette, from whom he was separated, said early on that he'd been getting threats prior to the shooting. Basically, I don't know. Lack of coverage. I don't know details. I just know that he said he was getting threats. Well, that's sure convenient if true. Almost as convenient as finding a manifesto on the suspected shooter. And it wouldn't be the first time someone tried to fake their death because of legal problems. And to be particularly clear, I'm not saying Thompson did fake his death. Just it's something to consider in a story that continues to grow more bizarre by the day. So yeah, Luigi considered using a bomb, but he was concerned about it killing innocent people, which is nice. That's considerate of him. And before the arrest, investigators found bizarre engravings on the bullet casings left on the scene. The words said denied to pose defend. And they're saying that there was a bag of bullets. There's a picture right there. See, watch the video.
All right. In other news, we have some breaking news this morning.
Yeah, the NYPD has provided us with a couple of photos that show a bullet found in Central Park.
Thanks, Gary.
Now, they're allegedly tied to the suspect in the CEO murder case, Luigi. Now, they're allegedly tied to the suspect in the CEO murder. NYPD has provided us with a couple of photos that show a bullet found in Central Park. Now, they're allegedly tied to the suspect in the CEO murder case, Luigi Mangione.
Apparently, some person was walking their dog yesterday in Central Park, and they spotted this bag. What they noticed was the writing on the bullets.
Yes, it's very similar to the writing that they found on the bullets in Midtown the morning of the shooting of the shell casings that morning. That really referenced the deny, defend aspect of the book that came out criticizing the insurance industry. This was found in Central Park yesterday by a passerby. Called the NYPD. They discovered it. They passed this photo on to us just to show you that they're continuing to gather evidence in this case against Luigi Mangione. More and more keeps coming in day after day.
So the bag of bullets somebody found. Wow. They're walking their dog. It's planted. They planted it. A Ziploc bag in the bushes. And they found a bag of bullets. The person says they were walking near East 81st and 85th Street when they saw the bag, noticing markings found on the shell casings. Maybe got a big nose. God damn. Okay. Amazing. Luigi's fans flood attorney's office with offers to pay legal bills. We talked about that already, too. They want to pay. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of you.
Everyone has is, are you being paid by his family to represent him?
I can't say.
Can you say that it's not his family who?
I won't say.
I would not court appointed.
We talked about that already, though. But yeah, a lot of people are offering the attorney money. Fingerprints match taken at the scene. Okay. So not looking good for Luigi. Luigi! Everybody's buying the merch, the jackets. And yeah, and apparently this guy Luigi referenced lefty filmmaker Michael Moore. New York Times reporter says in the Sick Manifesto. Michael, that's all you need to know, Michael Moore. I don't know. Seems like he might just be the fall guy. The whole thing's fishy. I don't think he did it. I've been a lawyer for 30 years, and there's a lot more to the Luigi story than we're being told. I'm highly concerned about his claims that evidence was planted. We'll be looking more into this, continuing to report the case. Impartiality as all suspects are innocent until proven guilty. She got 23 million views for saying nothing. First of all, I noticed these lawyers, too, that they're running. A lot of them now, they're jumping on the conspiracy wheel, conspiracy train. Because it gets a lot of engagement and views, so let's jump on this shit. And then she said a whole lot of nothing. I've been a lawyer for 30 years. There's a lot more to the Luigi story than we're being told. No shit, Sherlock. I am highly concerned about his claim that evidence was planted. He did claim that. Nice that you're concerned. We'll be looking into it. All right, amazing. Good for you. And this was the cover. Damn. Today's cover of accused CEO murderer. Damn. The face that only a mother could love. Mama. And they put the hash brown picture there too. Dang. Socialist University of Pennsylvania professor hides social media after celebratory post about CEO murder suspect goes viral. So this teacher, this is probably his problem too. The schools that he went to have never been prouder to be professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Her crate, look at blew her ass. It's what these professors are teaching. Violence and all this kind of shit. As people become radical, terrorists and shit. Look at that. She hit her social media after celebrating. And apparently they're saying his Twitter profile got verified. Congratulations, Luigi. Let me see. They're saying his Twitter profile is verified now. Luigi! Yeah, he got verified. Who verified his ass if he's locked up? Or did he verify it himself while locked up? Because they have access sometimes to cell phones and computers. His Twitter profile is verified now. Wow. He's verified, man. He's verified. He's legit. Too legit to quit. Damn. Newly discovered connection between Nancy and Luigi raises questions. Key points: cyber attack timeline. A major cyber attack on UnitedHealthcare Group in February 2024 coincided with Paul Pelosi's $4 million investment in Palo Alto Networks, which later investigated the breach. And we talked about this. The Nancy Pelosi thing is kind of interesting. This company was hacked, and the Pelosi people invested in the company that investigated it after, and they made a killing of money. United CEO's death, Brian Thompson, was murdered shortly before he was set to testify in a DOJ case that could have implicated Nancy Pelosi. Oh, Pelosi. Luigi's role. Luigi is a tech-savvy scion of wealthy Maryland family with historical ties to the Alessandro family. Nancy Pelosi was arrested in connection. Potential insider trading. Yep, we talked about that too. Speculation suggests the cyber attack could have been orchestrated to facilitate insider trading, benefiting the Pelosi family. Oh, shit. Shit. Nicholas Mangione, Luigi's grandfather, has ties to Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., Nancy Pelosi's father, raising questions about the long-standing family connections. When it comes to the intersection of power, influence, and corruption, nothing surprises us anymore. But the unfolding saga around Luigi, Nancy, and the UnitedHealthcare's cyber attack is a story that raises every eyebrow and begs serious questions. Is there a connection between the tech-savvy scion of a wealthy Maryland family, a devastating cyber attack, and what could be one of the most intricate insider trading scandals in modern history? Let's break it down. Damn, you tapped all this shit? February 2024, the largest private insurers of the United States suffered a catastrophic cyber attack. On the same day, Paul Pelosi, Nancy's husband, made a curious financial move in purchasing $4 million in call options for Palo Alto. And you can look this up. You can find articles and you can read about this. A leading cybersecurity firm. Shortly after Palo Alto's network was chosen to investigate the breach. Coincidence? But the timing is eyebrow raising, to say the least. And if you think about it, who has these big eyebrows, right? It's part of the connection. The eyebrow leads back to him. The big eyebrows. Maybe it is connected. That's convinced me. As the fallout unfolded, UnitedHealth was left grappling with the $2.3 billion response bill, a tarnished reputation that apparently didn't matter because people don't have a choice, and data breaches impacting 1/3 of Americans. Among those reportedly affected by the cyber attack was Brian, Thompson's UnitedHealth's CEO, who was scheduled to testify before the DOJ. Enter Luigi. Luigi, a computer science graduate from the University of Pennsylvania and the grandson of Nicholas Mangione, a man who has well-documented ties to Pelosi's father, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., is no stranger to controversy. While Luigi has remained largely in the shadow of his family's business empire, his technical expertise and access to wealth raises questions about his potential role in the high-stakes drama. He was arrested in December 2024 with the murder of Brian, just weeks before the CEO was set to testify. While authorities have focused on the immediate crime, the broader context suggests a potential motive link between protecting powerful individuals. Could Luigi have been part of the coordinated effort to silence Thompson and shield Pelosi from the insider trading accusations? The insider trading angle. The sequence of events involving Pelosi's and Palo Alto networks smells of insider trading. Yet, as always, there's plausible deniability. Nancy's defenders argue that Paul Pelosi got hit with a hammer. No, Paul Pelosi's investments are independent of her legislative role, but critics see this as convenient. Luigi's potential involvement in the cyber attack, subsequent events adds another layer of intrigue, the pattern of power. Let's not forget that this isn't the first time Pelosi's name has been linked to ethically questionable dealings. From the stock market timing to her legislative influence on industries where her family has investments, the Pelosi machine has always operated at the edge of what's legal and ethical. Add Luigi to the mix, a tech-savvy grandson of a family connected to De Alessandros, and you have all the ingredients for a nice Italian meal, a scandal that could rival any Washington thriller. Questions that the man answers. If there's nothing to hide, why did UnitedHealthcare CEO end up dead before his DOJ testimony? Why did Paul Pelosi make a $4 million bet on a very cybersecurity firm that investigated the attack? Is this a case of random coincidence, or are we witnessing the makings of one of the most explosive political and financial conspiracies in modern history? Only time will tell. Mangione, boy. By the way, Kim Kardashian, fans are encouraging her, hey, represent Luigi. Please, Kim Kardashian, we look up to you. Please set him free. Get him a pardon. Luigi already has a lawyer, but some of Kim's fans want him replaced by the reality star and aspiring legal eagle. Kim Kardashian, we watched that video you spreading your cheeks. Please, Kim. One person on X bluntly said Kim should represent Mangione. Another speculated that Kim could be looking for ways to free Luigi. A third begged someone contact Kim so she could protect Luigi from going to jail. And a fourth demanded that Kim tried to get Luigi a pardon. No. Maybe she can do it. Kim Kardashian. Anyways, it's the holidays time, so make sure you get your merch. Luigi merch. Let me check on Amazon real quick. I'm curious. I want to see if there's Luigi Mangione. If there's merch on there right now. I'll type his name. I'm not going to buy that shit, but I want to see. Oh, there's nothing there. So I wonder where they're getting the merch on. Maybe on Etsy? Luigi Mangione merch. I don't see nothing. Kim, please free him for Kim. Damn, bro. So, Tim Pool says Mangione is the R word. He had a cursory understanding of economics and decided to kill someone based off his of his R. He literally says he can't articulate the argument. Just another leftist nut job. Oh God. Oh. Things don't add up. Everybody on the internet, right? Things don't add up. I don't know, man. Luigi. Sprawling family found success after patriarch's rise. Luigi. I think we'll say this for another time. We've talked about his family history. We'll do a live where we're going through all this. Well, somebody's probably watching me. They'll do it right after I say it, but he mentioned it. Let's do it. Brother of the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, it's a terrible mistake if he influenced Luigi. The brother of the Unabomber. He's ashamed of Luigi. The brother of Ted Kaczynski, a domestic terrorist, as known as the Unabomber, said Tuesday that he hopes the man accused of the murder didn't view his brother as a key model and is distressed that his brother's actions decades ago might have motivated the violence today. For 2 decades, Ted waged a deadly bombing spree that killed 3 people and injured 23 others until his capture in Montana wilderness in 1996. Kaczynski taunted officials with a rambling manifesto and was apprehended following one of the longest FBI manhunts in history. It seems like Luigi was heavily influenced by this guy, given that now he considered using a bomb and had a manifesto on him. He looks up to him, his hero. Ted Kaczynski. David Kaczynski said that his brother, who died of unaliving in federal custody in 2023, should not be someone to aspire. Windy. I guess that's it. And then there's Hannah, which I've already said twice. My thoughts on Hannah Kobayashi. It's a shame her father is deceased, and we'll never know the answers. What happened there? The real inner depths of why this guy jumped off a parking lot building. But I guess it is what it is. Cool. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye. All right, guys. I'm going to get out for now. I might be back later, but I hope you guys have a good day. Have a good night. And take care. Peace. Bye. Love you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I might come back later. All right. Love you. Hit the like button on the way out. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop.
I'm not afraid anymore. Do you hear me? I'm not afraid anymore.
happen. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad. I've been bad, got cold that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song.
Hello? Anybody still there? Hello? Hey. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Let me see, hold on. Bye, guys.